Hello, welcome back then to episode 2, the weekly
Morning.
split. We ended up settling on that, didn't we, lad?
Yeah, seeing as what's happening was already taken, yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
so the weekly split, episode 2. Episode 1 went really well. We got some really good feedback from it.
yeah,
So
thank you.
yeah, it was.
Appreciate everyone who tuned in as well and watched it and had some good feedback. So thank you for everyone for that.
Yeah, I think people just like that. We're just chipping away. We haven't really got we have a few notes, but we don't really go off a script or not, and it's just is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So
So we actually put out, didn't we, last week? Sorry, this week. What did people want us to bring up? So we had a couple of good questions as well. So this week it was a little bit more towards sort of hybridy type stuff. There's obviously a couple of HYROX questions, but people want to know more about like hybrid training. So one of the ones that I got asked, and I've been asked a couple of times as well, is what do you think is like a good hybrid challenge? So first of all, I think hybrid training is running two things concurrently. So you're trying to do two goals that might not align. So maybe like a fast run and a heavy lift. So maybe like a heavy deadlift and a fast run. That is what I'd class as hybrid training. It's not just, doing some running and going to the gym twice a week. That's not really hybrid training. That's just keeping fit, isn't it? So
yeah,
a good hybrid goal is maybe like, I don't know, there's some guys up there who've done like a 250 deadlift and then a sub 5 minute mile. Like Aaron Travers is a fucking monster. He's an animal. He's done a load of challenges like that. You're onto Aaron, aren't you?
yeah. He's done a
Yeah,
ski
yeah.
record as well, didn't he?
He's done a ski record. He's got the triathlon record. He's got something like a 1:17 half marathon. He's like 6'6" and about 18 stone.
Yeah, he's a
He's
good
a
lad.
proper hybrid guy, mate. Yeah. So that type of stuff suits him. Obviously he's done some decent HYROXs. So I think goals like that, where it's like something where you're going to need to be able to run fast and lift heavy, because doing the two together at the same time are difficult. So I think those are good sort of hybrid challenges.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I see hybrid as someone who can pretty much jump into any fitness challenge and be pretty solid at it. Like, so you could go into a CrossFit class and, you could be one of the best. You can go and do a run and jump on a bike, and then you can obviously lift your weights to a really good heavy standard type of thing. So yeah, I agree. I think your half marathons and you've got all different types of like competitions and events out there as
Yeah.
well now that you can
Yeah.
test yourself. Is it the Athletics one? Is it?
Athletics, yeah. So Athletics is a pretty well-rounded hybrid comp, I think, because one, they change the format every year, and they cover everything. So they cover like a heavy lifting section, they'll cover like a Metcon CrossFit sort of style, and then they'll have like an endurance section as well. So you've got to be pretty good over the boards. I mean, we both watched a podcast, didn't we, one of our mates this week, where we were talking about HYROX versus CrossFit. And I think for a long time, CrossFit kind of fell short in the running department. So
Yeah.
it's always had like the short burst, the 12-minute to 20-minute Metcons have always been really good. Developed the strength sort of bias. Previously, there's always been a little bit of a gap with the running side. I think now CrossFit is now definitely bringing up the running, and a lot of CrossFitters who do their own program or follow certain program and do a lot more running. So they're much more rounded than they used to be on that side anyway.
Yeah, the gym I've been at, they do obviously CrossFit classes, and the amount of running they do, I was surprised really, because usually it's just the barbell or it's the box work, and now I'm seeing a lot more. Actually, yeah, I'm seeing more running and thinking, I'd like to jump on that every now and then. But yeah, as I say, it just impedes with the training that I do. I can't really switch between both. But sort of
Yeah.
hybrid is definitely, hybrid training does please me and does excite me a little bit, and it is something I'll probably end up going back to eventually in the long run.
With the HYROX, I think we said this before, you've got to be fit for purpose. So you've got to be like so zoned in on what you're doing. Especially if you want to be good at HYROX, you've got to just focus on what you're doing. Whereas if you're trying to do like really, really heavy lifts and you're trying to do like fast 5Ks, those things aren't necessarily going to help towards your HYROX goal. So doing like like 5K in a deadlift or a 5K in a squat on the same day of like a really good standard, that's a good goal. Or if you're going to do like an ultra plus some kind of lifting event in the same week, that's a good hybrid goal. Those are really hard challenges to prepare for. Staying strong whilst getting ready for some sort of big long run, it's difficult. You know what I mean? It's hard because your body doesn't really want to keep all that type of strength whilst you're running 50, 60, K or more a week. It's hard, like.
Yeah, I speak to lads who just want to get into fitness, or they're just trying to keep fit, and I tell them, like, hybrid's your way to go, because you can throw circuits in there, you're running, you bike, but then you're also
defo.
doing that strength work you want to do.
It's fun as
and
well. It's good fun, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah, and it's a question I get asked quite a lot, like about my strength sessions now. So strength sessions, and it popped up on when we put the questions out. Someone asked about, your strength sessions and how do you keep your muscle mass. And for me, like, I've lost muscle mass, I've lost size. I had to get a bit quicker on the running. So a lot of my strength sessions now will be kind of like two single, like a shoulder press and a squat, and then it'll just be into like your HYROX specific strength movement. So I'll push a sled,
Yeah.
I'll throw wall balls. It's that type of strength work rather than, like, I haven't bench pressed for like about 6 months now, and it's hard to move away from. But I haven't done bicep. I don't think I've done bicep curls for about 2 years, mate.
Get lost.
I haven't, honestly. I
You
haven't.
finish all sessions with a few bicep curls, you.
I did used to, and I've moved away from it all now. I mean, like, obviously pulling a sled, you're getting your biceps in there and little things like that. But yeah, for my strength sessions, it is tailored towards HYROX. It's more about the endurance side of it, and as a result, I have had to drop a bit of muscle mass, and it's difficult for moving away from that, and it's difficult getting used to, and it still is. But as you said before, you've got to either be, if you're all in on one sport, then you've got to kind of like
Yeah,
train for that.
definitely.
If you want to be a mix of both, then fine. Find someone like a coach that can kind of balance them too, like yourself, and you can kind of switch between, keep the size, be decent at your running and so on. But for me at the moment, I'm just kind of like all one way in the HYROX. So aesthetics and strength isn't like something that I'm really focused on at the moment.
I think you mentioned the key word there, and that's sort of keep the size, because me and you are pretty much the same size. I'm a bit fatter than you, but I'm like 95. You're about
Didn't want to
no,
say.
no, I'm about 95. And what are you, about 87?
Yeah, about 87.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if I was as lean as you, we'd be probably about the same sort of size. Yeah. But what we've built is what we've got now is from what we've built in the past. It's not what we've
yeah,
built during HYROX training, and it takes a lot less to maintain what you've got than it does to actually build. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? To actually
yeah,
build muscles a lot harder. So to maintain what you've got, it only needs like a fraction of the amount of stimulus. So that's where I think a lot of people find it's a bit gutting, to be honest with you, because they think that they can do 2 strength sessions a week or 1 strength session a week, loads of HYROX, and all of a sudden they're going to blow up and just get massive and be ripped.
yeah,
Or a lot of the guys who are big in HYROX or who've got decent amount of muscle, it's from stuff they've done years before, and they've just maintained the muscle that they've got. It is hard because you've got like signals that your body's sending at the same time when you're trying to build muscle and stuff. You need to be in a calorie surplus, you need to be rested, all these things, and it's hard to try and build muscle when you're doing specifically HYROX. With hybrid training, you can balance it a bit more. You can do a little bit more weightlifting, a little bit less of the endurance type stuff. But yeah, maintaining what you've got is a lot easier. Building actual muscle from scratch, if you're someone who's already a little bit small or you haven't got much muscle on your frame, doing HYROX is not going to be somewhere where you're gonna get big. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to build a lot of muscle.
yeah. And like, I mean, I'm just thinking of like one of my best mates. He's come from being really big, and he's slimmed down a lot, but he just can't hack it, and he's gone back again towards the other way now. So he's back towards the
Yeah,
bodybuilding weight classes and stuff. And as you say, it's about finding what you feel comfortable with. And if you're training for everyday life and everyday fitness, then just do what you enjoy. Like, I love circuit training. Me, I used to just love getting a
yeah.
pair of dumbbells, doing all like me thrusters, do box jumps, burpees. I done all that, but combine it into like some sort of circuit class. That was the way I trained, and I trained like that for years.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, sort of away from HYROX, CrossFit type stuff is probably easier to build muscle because you're touching barbells and stuff and dumbbells
Yeah,
every day, or most
yeah,
days. Plus, you're doing a lot of rig work as well. So all that
mm,
stuff will definitely help you build muscle over. See, HYROX is just way more endurance based, and most of the stuff is body weight. So you're going to have a couple of strength sessions a week.
yeah.
Strength is easier to build, but like actual hypertrophy and building muscle is difficult when you're doing that type of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's easier to maintain than it is to build. So if you want to try and get massive and you want to try and get on stage, don't do HYROX training.
Oh yeah, stay away from it. Exactly. Stay away from that running. And then obviously CrossFit classes. That's something again. I'm saying at the moment in the CrossFit gym, and it's hard, for me to just stay away from the classes when I'm seeing like I don't know, I seen a chipper on the board the other day, and it just looks so appealing. And I was thinking, right, I can do this. But then, as I say, lifting a barbell for me now, I haven't done it for that long.
Do you
My
back
body
in?
probably wouldn't. I know that do me back in or pull my hamstring or something like that. But it is,
Do you
it's
think
tempting.
do you think HYROX CrossFit has a value in HYROX training?
I do, yeah. No, I do. If I had the time, I would throw CrossFit training into mine. Not your gymnastics CrossFit, but definitely your barbell work, like your power clean presses, thrusters, stuff like that. I would throw it in, but I just haven't got the time. Obviously, full time job and so on. But if I had the time, the CrossFit lifts and the barbell work would be part of my training somehow or some way.
Because obviously there's a few guys that do CrossFit bias
Yeah.
training. I mean, I'm sure they do a lot more in the off season. They do it during the season, like, but there's a few guys that will do a little bit of CrossFit type training. So I think that's a bit of a value kind of working a lot more of that top end stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, that use higher zones and then your explosive work. I think it's help for as well. Like, coming through on a power clean, it's got to help on the explosive side. I don't know when you're doing like for example, burpee, broad jump, stuff like that. So I definitely would.
Yeah, definitely.
Bo's one of them, isn't he? Bo's a big, and Dylan, to be fair, the world champion. So Dylan, he's
Yeah,
massively
and
involved
JK
in
as
it.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, they throw barbells around all the time. Yeah, if I had time, I'd definitely do more of it, but it just doesn't fit my time. I'd end up injured if I start to squeeze stuff like that in now.
yeah, definitely. Hybrid
Go on.
games. That's what I was going to talk about. Hybrid games was last week. No, so we'll go over.
Yeah.
Basically, I had the hybrid games event last week in Birmingham, so I had a couple of guys do that. That was good. It's a decent event normally. I've done it once. It's basically a HYROX with a couple of extra stations. So you've got HYROX, all the stations plus Echo Bike, I think, and dumbbell snatch, isn't it?
And are the
Norm
runs shorter?
Yeah, so I think it's 600 runs and then you finish with a 200 or something. So it's definitely shorter runs.
Okay.
It's quite hard, because the runs you're pushing the pace on the runs, and the way they set it out, you've got echo bike first, and I think it's wall balls, and then it's rower. So your legs are absolutely blitz made from the first three stations.
Yeah.
It's a good event. They have the timing chips, they have the board, so it's set out pretty well. You know what I mean? It's normally a decent event. So I had a couple of guys do that, and it fills a bit of a gap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Because now we've
promoted
got
well as well. The socials look brilliant, don't they? Like, and you see it. I had a ticket for Northern Ireland one, but I think I ended up doing something else and didn't end up traveling. But it is something that I was interested in, and I was looking at because it's very similar to HYROX, and it was a little bit shorter runs, as you say. And I wanted to see how I'm doing it. So it looks good.
Yeah, I remember when I did it, my lower back for days, maybe it was gone because it was 50 dumbbell snatch, and my lower back, maybe for about 2 days, I couldn't walk.
Yeah, lads, I can
But it was,
imagine.
but it was good. So Hybrid Games is also a bit of a mix-up again this week. So I believe that Dale, the former owner, has now gone. So I think there's been a lot of controversy going on with Hybrid Games over the past 12 to 18 months. I won't go into details about what's what like, but there's been a few things going on. So I think earlier on this year, the company was transferred to another company, so somebody else bought it out, and then I think Dale stayed on in a different role. So it looks like he's took a step out now, which I think is probably going to be for the best for the company, to be honest with you, because there's been a few things this year where events haven't fully sold out. They've cancelled events last minute, or cancelled days of the events last minute, because I had clients who were supposed to race back end of last year, and then they got told the day before we're cancelling the day. So with a few things like that, it's because it's a decent event, and I think, whilst people didn't really like who was in charge, it was
Yeah.
holding it back a little bit, and it's a good event.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I think
so
if you look, when someone would ask you, you'd have HYROX obviously is the champion of the hybrid sport event, but then someone would ask me, and it'd always be the hybrid games. It looks good. It's
yeah,
getting the attraction that it needed, but I think they just lost trust. They just lost trust in the athletes
that's
wanting
it.
to
Yeah,
buy a ticket and take part.
completely. Yeah, and to be honest with you, Dale done a great job in actually getting it to where it was. He put a lot of effort into making it like a good standard. Everything was set out really well. Like I say, timing chips, the screen, everything looked really professional. So we've done a great job of getting it to where it was. But I say, once people lost a little bit of trust with one thing or another, whatever it was, it's hard to get that back. So I think
Yeah.
maybe completely new people in charge of the ship now. Hopefully it'll push on and they can kind of sort of get back on track to where they were, because it's a good event. And like I say, loads of
Yeah,
people love doing it.
they did one in Liverpool, so I didn't do it, but it was picking up like little cities and locations that obviously HYROX
Yeah,
isn't. So if people were happy with like jumping on, because I think they had one in Belfast, they had one in Liverpool, so it was
yeah,
places where the HYROX weren't like kind of filling that market. But as you
yeah,
say, I think it got to a point where every time I'd switch social media on, someone who was involved in some way would be talking negative about it, or
yeah,
someone would be talking
yeah,
about like the tickets and the events being cancelled. And I think, as you say, once you start losing trust and losing that kind of positive momentum, people are just going to lose interest quickly and jump to something else.
yeah. So hopefully that means going forward it'll start doing well. So see how
So
it goes. Like.
are them events then? So will them events just run all year, similar to a season like HYROX? Does it have like a world championships and stuff
Think
like that?
so. I think I'll be honest with you. I think there was talks of them doing a world champs, but I think nothing else has been said since. So they just run them throughout the year. But like I say, for the time being, while there's no HYROX events in the UK till October, and they've got these hybrid games things on it, it just fills a gap for people because people want to race. They've got that. There's a lot of Deadly Dozen on at the moment, isn't there? Is
Yeah, I
Deadly
was going
Dozen?
to
Yeah.
say Deadly Dozen. And
There's
they're
a
getting
few of
the
them on.
attraction because they're paying good money. The Deadly Dozen payments that they were paying out like the other week at the regional championships or whatever it was. It was good. It was good, good money.
Yeah, to the track as well, so it's a little bit different from other events. So those things are good. They're never going to be, obviously, they're never going to be a HYROX, but because they haven't got the financial backing behind them that you need. But they're good though. Gives people something to do. Get a little flag on the weekend. Maybe get a little check as well.
You
So
know what?
good.
It's something I probably would. We'll have a go at one of them. Maybe not Deadly Dozen because things like snatches and bear crawls. George done one,
Aaron
didn't
won't
he?
let
George
you.
Martindale, and he said his hamstrings were done in for a week. I won't be able to walk for 2 weeks, mate. Dave Parker, no one can beat him, can he? He's just taking
Lad,
all the Deadly Dozens everywhere he
no,
goes.
he's a beast lad, isn't he? He's good, isn't he?
Honestly, yeah, he's
I think
unbelievable.
he's won a good few of the hybrid games as well. I think.
Well, he was brilliant at HYROX, mate, but then it was the war balls used to just kill him, and he'd be like so far ahead, and he'd get to the war balls, and it'd take him like 6 minutes, and
yeah.
in the end, he just said, "Right, I'm jumping on something else," and it was Deadly Dozen, and now no one can get near him.
Yeah, didn't he beat George by about 2 minutes?
Mate, honestly, he's a beast.
Which is
Anything
good
that
going because
improves,
George is rapid. Yeah.
I know. So fair play to him, and he seems to be picking up all the checks at all the major races that they're doing. So yeah, nice little learner for him.
Next one, someone asked about was training zones. So interesting one this because I get asked this a lot by clients. Someone asked me, would you class zone 3 as easy as easy pace if you struggle to keep your heart rate down if it feels easy? But my honest answer is no. Oh, we were talking. Sorry, I spoke to you about it. I've talked to a couple of other guys in the podcast before. I'd like people to do their easy training like zone 1 to 2. Like I know you do a lot of running in like easy zone 1. That's like easy. If you're letting your heart rate drift into zone 3 because you think it's easy, I'll be honest, it's just lack of discipline.
Yeah.
You don't like how slow you've got to run to keep your heart rate down, and you can't be disciplined enough, and you're just telling yourself, oh, this feels easy. Well, it probably feels okay because you do all of your running in tempo. So you're doing all of your running in zone 3, so you're so used to it. But then I bet your zone 4 stuff isn't much quicker because you're always in that middle ground, and you probably always feel a little bit shagged as well because you're always training in that tempo zone, and it requires much more recovery than zone 2, but you don't get any much more benefit than zone 2. So for me, I would say just kind of control your ego a little bit. Don't even look at your pace. Just have your heart rate screen on your watch if you're going to look at your watch, and just don't worry about the pace and just run to sort of what feels easy or where you can breathe through your nose with your mouth closed. That's like a good indicator.
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of it recently, like on our zone 1. I very rarely even do zone 2, to be honest. A lot of my easy days are zone 1, and I don't have the data on at all. I have it on, but I don't look at it, and I just make sure that I'm going off like my feel. I think I've got to the point now where I can run and know if I'm running too fast. I know what I don't know. In my zone 1, I can sit around about a 5-10 pace. And that's just me then, just settled in, nice and conversational. I'd also make sure that they're using a chest strap or an arm strap is a little bit more accurate than the wristwatch. Obviously, your chest strap is your most accurate. I don't wear a chest strap as much as I do because it's just a bit awkward on me. So I've gone for the armband, which it's not as accurate, but it's better than the wrist. And then zone 3. Like if I'm thinking of me doing a run in zone 3. It would be tough. It would.
Well, say you do your long run. Let's say you've got a 60-minute run once a week, and every week your 60-minute run is like a zone 3 run, and then either side of that you've got threshold on one day, and then you've got a HYROX workout the other day. You've then got 3 sort of decently hard days all mashed together in one big block. So obviously after a couple of weeks, you're going to start feeling the fatigue of that, really badly, I think anyway.
Yeah, your easy days, you've got to be easy again, not to impact the next day, because you want to be putting good paces in, especially if you're doing like a threshold or a tempo run the next day, and you've come off the back of a zone 3. And for me, I would have them little kind of like, I don't know, I'd be stiff in the Achilles, I'd probably have a feel in my calves, and then as soon as I start my quality work, then I'd just be like, knackered here, I'm shattered. So my easy days are completely easy. people, I think social media doesn't help because obviously you've got Strava and you've got your posting your paces and you've got
Yeah.
posting your heart rate. And listen, I do it as well, and I'm probably like, no, I'm not helping anyone, but yeah, just knock it on the head and just if your coach or giving you an easy one, make sure it's easy and make sure that it's got
Yeah.
you could go home and you're fresh for the next day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, letting it sort of drift up past zone 2 and then a little bit harder. It's easy done because you're just like, oh, I feel good. This doesn't feel really hard, especially once you've been going for like 10, 20 minutes, you settled in and you start creeping up and creeping up. You think, oh yeah, I feel okay. I'm okay at this pace. But if you're trying to do like easy runs and just be honest with yourself, then you've got to keep it like zone 2 as a cap and anything below is fine. So if it's zone 1,
And
that's
look,
absolutely fine. Go on.
yeah. No, I just think, and I look at everything else that's going on externally. Like this week, if you're running zone 3 in the heat that's out there, you might as well be doing zone
Yeah.
4, zone 5 work because it's like in the
Yeah.
UK this week. It's been a joke.
If you're unsure about your zones as well, like I said, conversational pace is like a decent marker, but I always say if you can close your mouth for about 30 seconds and just breathe through your nose comfortably, then you're in like zone 2. You can't do
You
that
know,
if you're above that. If you can just close your mouth and breathe comfortably through your nose for 30 seconds or more, then that's a good pace for you to run your easy paces at. If you can't do that, then it's too fast.
yeah,
So
no,
if
I
you're unsure
agree.
about
Yeah.
your zones, try that. Yeah.
So
Um,
take it easy is basically what we're saying there. Your easy days are there. I
yeah,
showed
take
someone the other
it.
day all my data. It's zone 1. Like 90% of my work, I think over the year has been zone 1 and a little bit of touching in zone 2, and then the other zones. You should see the chunk on my
Lad,
on my data.
100% of my training's in zone 1, lad.
I know it's not,
All
and
that.
I've seen you lifting them deadlifts. When you're lifting them deadlifts, lad, you look like you're gonna explode. That's you zone 5 for max lifts.
So another one was about paces and coaching, so sort of leading on from that. Something that I actually see quite a bit now is coaches over prescribing paces, doing the sessions that are basically, you want to push hard on your sessions, like working too hard for too long, being prescribed like 5K pace for, 30, 40, 50 minutes worth of work, in big chunks, or working at your 10K pace for over an hour, 60 to 70 minutes worth of 10K pace with floats in between, like 60-second floats in between. Sessions like that are just going to absolutely wreck you. Say you're running at your 5K pace say you've got to run at your 5K pace for like 40 minutes, you would be absolutely wrecked for days off that. I would be.
Yeah,
If I had to
I
run
would
my
be.
5K pace for 40 minutes, mate, I'd be wrecked. Same with running my 10K. If I had to run my 10K pace for over an hour, so I was going to cover like, say, 12 or 15K, about 15K's worth of work, I'd be absolutely wrecked for days, mate. And it would take me a good few days of getting over that. And I'm seeing it quite a lot with coaches because they think threshold, and they don't know what threshold is. So they think that 5K is threshold, or they're thinking that threshold has to be like the 10K pace. And that's where you need to be at that limit all the time. But those sessions, like doing big blocks of sessions where you do like 40, 50, 60 minutes worth of work there, like half marathon to marathon style blocks. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah,
so the pace needs to be adjusted. The pace needs to be half marathon sort of effort. A lot easier than 10K. A lot of 10K sessions are stuff like 400-meter repeats or sort of 20-minute tempo efforts at 10K, or around about 20 to 30 minutes of work at the pace you want to be working at, not like 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes at 10K pace. It's just too much. And I see that quite a lot with coaches now.
yeah. It's gonna kill you, isn't it?
They're
I
running,
don't.
they're
I don't.
running.
I done a session
Go
this
on.
week, three by. It was like obviously a warm up and a cool down, but then the main block was three by 12 minutes, and I just ran them at like 4 minute paces, and that's below my like well
Perfect.
away from my threshold. But it was for me, it was like I was sitting in an
Maintainable.
uncomfortable, uncomfortable, but comfortable pace. I could feel like kind of it was just the right for it was roasting, it was hot, but it was just right for me on that day because obviously I got up, was a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued, and again it's you're giving paces and you shout about it and Aaron and Chris on the other podcast they do, but you're giving paces, but doesn't mean you got to stick to those paces, and if anything, if you're not feeling it, just drop a little bit and come the other way. And you see people like, oh, I'm feeling great today, I'm going to push it, but then it just accumulates over the weeks and eventually it's just going to take that, it's going to have that knock-on effect, which we'll come on to in a minute, that burnout, which we're seeing so much.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think like definitely you're going to see a lot of burnout in the next 2 to 3 years, 100%, because everyone's trying to push I mean, we've talked about this so many times. Everyone's trying to push the training volume up massively to like
Mm,
18, 20, 20, 25 hours. um, of training a week, and they're trying to run jobs and stuff. You look at someone who's like a big volume trainer, someone like Sean Noble, who does like 23 to 25 hours of training a week. He's pretty much like full-time athlete. You know, he dedicated
Yeah.
his day, and his whole day is dedicated around the training. It's not someone who's going and doing 2 hours in the morning and then going to work on site or working in an office for 8 hours, then coming back and doing another hour or 2 hours at night. And they've got kids and all that. It's a lot, mate, trying to do that volume of training and just jumping from 12 hours up to 20 hours. You need to sort of progressively build. Same with the paces, you need to be able to progressively build the paces over time, over months and maybe years. You've got to build the paces, you've got to build the volume over a long time. I've actually had it with people this week who've come off the back of doing Worlds, and they're wanting to go back into 20-hour training weeks straight away after they've just had a week or a couple of weeks break from Worlds, and they're wanting to go straight back to 18, 20 hours. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to hold you back, but I'm trying to look at the big picture of just building up slowly so we can
Yeah.
get up to a decent level gradually, rather than just jumping from doing like 10 hours, say, to bump 18 hours or 20 hours. It'll bite you in the ass, basically.
You might feel all right like the first week, and you might think, I can do this,
Yeah,
or
oh,
and
yeah,
then the
yeah,
second
yeah,
week maybe, but then it starts creeping into like week 3, week 4, and you just end up thinking this is just too much, and then you're trying to balance everything else around it, and your training's coming before, I don't
yeah,
know, like your family and or your commitments with your social life, and in the end, you just end up your whole personality just becomes this volume of training. I've got to get this hour done. I've got to get this 40-minute done.
yeah,
This 2-hour
yeah,
block. It's just not a way to live,
yeah,
and you do. It is probably because everyone's looking at these elite lads and they're thinking like, most of them have come from they come from some sporting backgrounds, but we've got lads there now who everyone thinks they can aspire to be. I'm females, and they're thinking, right, if they're doing that, then that's what I need to be doing to kind of keep the pace. Got to move away from it. I sit around about 14, 15 hours, me. If someone asked me to do an extra 3 hours, I'd struggle. I don't know where I'd fit it in. I've got no plan to, if any. And I'd come back down to 12 for a little bit, and then I'd go back up. But
yeah,
14 hours for me is my sweet spot. It works. I feel good at the end of the week. I'm ready to go again by the time Monday comes back around. And yeah, it works. Find your sweet spot. I think I seen one of your athletes. He said his was around 16, 17 hours, and he's pretty, he's knocking on the door of the elite. So it's finding what fits for you and not copying what everyone else is doing.
yeah. There's obviously going to be, like say, a sweet spot for everyone. Um, it's not like one size fits all. I mean, even I was looking at something, going back to Sean, looking at something someone put up yesterday, and it's like a 3-year progression of where he's gone to where he is now. So
Yeah, I've seen that.
it's took him 3 years to get to where he is and build that volume and find, because you look at his season last year, it was proper turbulent, wasn't it? It was up down,
Yeah.
he was up and down with his weight, he was here and there. He just about missed the Elite 15 last year, so he wasn't fully where he needed to be. And then this year he's had a great season, so he's obviously found what works, what the balance is for him. He does a lot of easy stuff. He does I'm sure he does like 2-hour easy bike rides regularly. Plus he'll do easy runs. He was doing like 18K easy runs all the time, I think, at one point. So he's found what works for him now, but you've got to sort of balance it yourself.
And even someone like him who's a full-time athlete, and he's injured now, isn't he? He's had to take 2 weeks off. He says he's not going to run now till I think he was saying like the end of August maybe.
Yeah,
And his next pro race won't be Dublin, which is that November time. So he's got a big
November,
block
yeah.
now where he's got to try and recover. I think he's got something going on with his hip. So
Yeah.
that just shows you, like, even these full-time athletes, they're obviously doing it for the job and it's their everyday life, but it's even having
You know what,
negative impacts on the body.
it's good though, because he actually put up yesterday, like, he's back on the ski, he's back on the row. Paces aren't
Yeah.
where they want to be, but it's a start, basically. That just shows that he's just someone who's like Elite 50 and he's running 54s, because he's running 53. Hopefully I don't
Think
get that
so, yeah.
wrong. He's on a
No, he is,
53,
yeah.
and this is just someone who's come back and just saying, look, I've got to start from scratch. It's not someone who's
Yeah.
come back after 2 weeks and gone, I need to be pulling fives on the ski for 8x1K. He's just said, look, my paces aren't where they need to be, but to start, I need to start from here and build back up. And I think a lot of people should probably just take a little bit from that,
I
and take
seen
a little
someone the
bit,
other
yeah,
day, a 5-hour day, a 5-hour training day. One of the elite lads, like, 5 hours. That's my full
yeah,
working day nearly, that. It's not yours, is it? You only do two.
It's more. Well, lad, it's more than your
Yours,
working day, lad.
yours is it.
Sending me
Yours is an easy
you're
bike,
sending me
lad. So
reels all day.
it's triple yours. But mine, 5 hours, 5 hour training day. I don't know how your body would even cope. I do 2 hours when I need to lie down.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, and the thing is, I've said this before. There's a lot of external pressures as well. So, like, puts a lot of pressure on your life with regards to your
Yeah.
partner. I mean, there's a bit of a HYROX curse where it does sort of wreck relationships because it takes over. People training so much and being so focused on the training and the competing and the traveling and all that. So it puts a lot of stress on relationships as well. And if you've got kids, that's another layer as well. And obviously work. That's what pays the bills.
I think for every like your everyday athlete as well, that's where like classes come in well, because if you're trying to find that time and you can go to a class and maybe, I don't know, you might have kids and you can take the kids while they sit there while you're joining the class, at least you're getting that hour, 90 minutes of training in. And that's when I think like the classes are really good for people who are like obviously trying to keep fit, trying to get better at things. Then yeah.
Get yourself to full moon fitness, yeah.
Exactly. I on a Thursday night, 5:30 till 7:30, 2 classes. That was me plug.
Like the
You said I could do
lad,
it at the start. Fill them classes, lad. That's what my aim is.
So yeah,
What's the other
those
thing
are
we
good
want?
classes. Are good.
So the other thing we
So
said as well was it this is a funny one, this, but I've had it and I know you have, but you go into a gym and you're using another coach's plan and
yeah,
basically
yeah,
it's frowned upon. Like how the owner of the gym goes
yeah.
about
So
it, but you go in, it's with a different plan and the owner is like not happy with it and whatever. So I don't know what you think
yeah,
about this,
so
but it made me laugh.
I had this. So basically, someone was told that they couldn't be coached by another coach who doesn't work in the gym, which I thought was very weird. I thought it was a very weird approach. I mean, maybe that's just my thinking. I don't know. I spoke to you about it. I said I couldn't really get my head around it. Why, if you're just going in to use the facilities, why it's not accepted to be, it's either leave or get a new coach, which I thought was a bit odd. But
Surely you bring a different
maybe I'm
spin
wrong.
in. Like if I go into the gym that's owned by like Reese and Woody, and then I'm not coached by either of them, and I go in with my own coaching plan. They love it because I'm in there. I'm bringing another spin in. I'm just doing different things. They're asking questions about what I'm doing, and other like kind of client, the customers in there. They're asking questions, and aren't you just learning more by someone else bringing a different like planning and different program? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've owned my own gym before, and like I've had no issues with people getting coached by someone else. I'm not really asked. Like the crux of it is like if someone's coming in and paying me membership, I'm not bothered. Like if you're
Yeah,
coming in and paying membership and you come and use the gym, fine, do what you want. Like I don't care. I don't
I
think
agree.
like I think it's a bit of ego where you're saying, "Oh, you can't be coached by someone else." I've got a female client as well. She goes to a gym, and the owner of that gym is a little bit funny about being coached by someone not from the gym. And
They
so
must
it's
not
come up a
like
couple
you,
of
lad.
times.
It must just be you.
Yeah, story of my life. So
But then, and you know what? Like while we're on the coaching thing, and I'm seeing this a lot, people jumping coaches too soon, and unless you
oh
fall
man,
out with your coach, which isn't, I'm seeing it in two ways. I'm seeing people, I don't know, racing a bad race or performing badly in an event, so thinking, right, I need to change. Or I've seen as well, people have done really well, and I'm talking like the top of the sport, and then still jumping coaches. Like I don't understand what's going on. I mean, unless you're falling out with your coach over something irrelevant to the coaching, I don't. Why are you changing? Unless it's a
look,
money
if you
issue, I
have
don't know.
yeah, I mean, if you have a bad race, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Sometimes you're gonna have good races, sometimes you're gonna have shit races. They're not all gonna go your way. If you have a succession of like 4, 5, 6 races where it's not going to plan, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and say, look,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't working. This isn't working for me anymore. I've exhausted what I can get out of this relationship. I need a change. But I
yeah.
think if you've had one bad race, especially if you've had a good race, like why would you have a good race and then say, right, I'm moving to someone else? People move to coaches sometimes because they've getting a lot of attention on social media.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
Uh,
they're getting a lot of attention. It's more clicks, or I don't know. The coach has approached them and has done them a favour, or is giving them a little bit like,
ye-
yeah, I'll coach you for this if you do this for me.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
mean, I actually brought this up with the boys the other day about people coaching people because it's quite common. So a lot of coaches do like outreach and stuff. They
Yeah,
might message someone and say, "Oh, I'd love to have you as part of the team. Come and join the team. We'll give you this or that. We'll give you this for free, or we'll do your discount rate, or leave your coach." And that, I couldn't do that, to be honest with you. One, I don't think it's morally right, and two, there's enough business for everyone. I think
yeah,
HYROX is
oh,
so big.
absolutely.
There's plenty of business So yeah, coaches who are doing that, trying to poach people, it's not good enough.
Yeah, and bide your time. If you're choosing a coach, you've chosen that coach for a reason. Bear with it. Not every race goes to plan. It takes time. Stick with them, and then
Listen,
you have
there
to.
will be times as well where you just don't get on with the coach, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you don't get on with them and you don't gel with them, to leave, that's absolutely fine. Like, because you need to be able to have that relationship where you can message them anytime and just say, look, this, blah blah blah. You want to be able to talk to them and have a conversation. If you message them and you just get back, then that's no good either. Do you know
Or
what I mean?
and tag them, lad. You know when you're doing a workout that they've clearly given you and you're getting loads of
Oh,
clicks on
man,
your socials. Tag your
don't mind me.
coach.
It's
Come
Sunday,
on,
lad. Don't mind
tag
me.
your coach. The coaches they're all getting upset and they're all coming to me. Tag your coach, guys. Especially Coach Adam Hybrid.
Just give me
Last
a
one
little
then,
bit.
one more thing I want to talk about before obviously we kind of wrap things up is the cost. So I bought my Dublin tickets this week and I can see the increase already of the cost. The price of the tickets going up slightly, especially if you
How
want
much
that
was it?
flex option. I paid €137, but then if I wanted the flexi option, I'm sure it went to like 180
Fucking hell.
euros. I know.
Jesus.
So what happened was I didn't pay the flexi option. Now I was buying the tickets, so I bought
Yeah,
my
of
ticket
course
and
you.
I bought Aaron's as well, right? And then Aaron had got in, and at this time, because we're not on our phones, he'd bought his ticket. So I had two tickets then, and I've got one for him. And he's got his own. So I'm like, well, I haven't got flexi, and he's like, well, neither have I. So I messaged HYROX straight away and was like, listen, like, don't know what's happened here, type of thing. Started, and they just literally weren't interested. You haven't bought flexi, go away, type of thing. The money that you're spending, it's a 2-minute job. Like, it's not even a 2-minute job. Just change the name. I had someone's name ready to go on the ticket and they wouldn't let me. So now I've got a ticket there that's just going to go to waste. That could just go to someone because I wouldn't pay. You know, flexi option was an extra fiver, I'd pay it, but it's not.
Yours.
It's like an extra €50.
The thing is, you're so tight. You'll race that twice. You'll just race
Nah,
as
well, I
Aaron as
said
well.
this,
Minge
but
bag.
that's what you'll end up. I will, but you'll end up doing. So, what you'll end up doing is you'll just end up getting the two tickets, giving it to someone to say, like, you might as well run and just don't wear the chip.
Yeah,
Or put the
yeah.
chip on and just take it off before you start. And I know you can't do
Like
that, but that's
180,
what,
like 180 euros is like what? 170 or 170 quid. It's a lot of money that made for a HYROX ticket.
and just for the flexi option, like having that much to change a name is ridiculous. Like it's literally a 2-minute job. Someone just there, change the name, it's done.
I think because I think it boils down to basically a couple of years ago when they had basically just buy a ticket and you could change your name. They had that many resale sites going on, and then people who were moving tickets on at no cost. They weren't making any money on it, but they were moving tickets on, helping people get tickets and stuff. And then HYROX were like, hang on, we could probably make a few more quid here. I think that's where it's
Yeah.
come. I think that's where it's
Well,
come
I've
from.
learned my lesson. I probably need. I said I'd always start buying flex, but then when I clicked into this one and I went to buy flex and it jumped by that much, I was like, as you say, I was a bit tight early, but my own fault
It's
now. I'm
cost you
stuck
now.
with it. I'm stuck with a ticket that I don't need. Fair play to Adam. No, he
Just,
sent me the money, so it was his fault.
oh yeah, all right. So get him to buy the tickets from now on. But yeah,
But
if you think about racing 4 or 5 times a year at 180 quid, that's basically 900 quid. Say you go to Wales this year, Wales is going to hit you for about 5 grand because you're going to
it's a
Hong
joke.
Kong.
Wow.
You're gonna have to be there. No way you're going to Hong Kong for 4 or 5 days. You're gonna have to go to Hong Kong for like if you're gonna be serious, you need to go for like 10 days because you need to be there a few days before. You need to race, blah blah blah. It's gonna be a big trip that. So it's gonna be expensive.
Someone said to me the only other way you do it is you just travel, race, and get home, and like avoid the time zone type of thing. But I think the travel's too long to do that because you getting off a plane, you feel like crap anyway, don't you?
About 20 hours, isn't it?
So I've no idea, lad. I've not even looked at it. I'm not even thought about it yet. It's just I think it's
to
too
Hong
much.
Kong, lad. Yeah, it's like well,
Probably
think
got to
about
get
it,
to
8 hours.
Dubai first, haven't I?
Yeah, it's 8 hours to here, and then it's like another 8 or 9 hours on from here. So
But
it's
it's
far,
becoming a
lad.
barrier.
Yeah.
It's becoming a cost, and I think it's like the Ironman, isn't it? Not everyone can, or triathlons. It's the price of them are quite high and substantial, especially with the equipment. HYROX, you don't have the equipment that you need, so I suppose you're saving money there. But if they're saying that they're for everyday athletes and they're for everyone to get involved, and the prices just keep increasing like that, it's going to
Yeah,
price people out because you're going to race once a year and that's it.
yeah, but even carbon shoes are 250 quid now, 220
Yeah,
quid,
true.
250 quid. Like they used to be
Yeah.
a little bit less, they're like 160s, 170s, but now they're like 220s, 240s. So you think about 1 or 2 pairs of carbon shoes in a year, maybe let's just say 1, plus your race tickets, plus if you go into Birmingham, you might stay over for the night, or if you go to Dublin, you might stay over for the night, or London, whatever. You know, it's another night's hotel, travel. If you're doing one European race, there's another 500 quid to a grand because you're going to Spain and you a couple of nights and then a flight, all this, that, and the other. So the cost. I mean, me and Mark were talking about how much we've spent from January to now on travel. We've probably done like 10 grand in travel just
It's
from
a lot of
January.
money.
Going to like Phoenix and like Spain and here, there, and everywhere, and even to Denmark and Stockholm. It puts a big cost on trying to get to the top level, basically. Just
Yeah,
trying to get
no,
to
I
the top level,
agree.
it's a big cost.
Right, so wrap it up there then. It was decent there. I think we've covered everything, haven't we? Nothing else there.
Pretty much, lad. Yeah, we've had a good chat. So I think maybe try and get someone on with us in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a little discussion about
So
it, get someone on.
we'll have a chat, yeah, and we'll be sliding into people's DMs.
I'll let you decide, like, because I'll just have all my mates on.
I'm no good at that.
Anyways, nice one, lad, and I'll catch you soon.
Go on, mate. I'll see you later.
See you later, lads. Ta-ra, mate.